Hi everyone, it's Agnes, and I want to welcome you to another interview. Today it is with Kay, and she's in the US. So, welcome, Kay.
Hi everybody.
Thank you for coming to talk to us about
Of course.
your wonderful self love journey. You sent me a fantastic email, and I thought, the self love stuff is so important. So, I thought we'd have a chat about that in a bit more detail because it was a great story. So, do you want to backtrack as to where you were when you started, looking at self-love on YouTube, or how it started for you and then where you're up to now?
Yeah, I'll start with my story. About a little over a year ago, me and my boyfriend, 6 years, he decided to break up with me. He said he wasn't happy anymore and um, things just weren't working out. And obviously, at that point, I was, devastated because you're with somebody for so long. You think, okay, this is the one. Um,
Mm,
yeah.
yep.
uh, so we lived together at the time, so that made it even harder. I had to move out. I was miserable. I wasn't eating, and the typical thing you do after a breakup. You're
Yeah.
just depressed, and you're. So I came across. I was looking up videos after a point, like trying to get through Heartbreak, and I did come across your videos for. Initially, it was for manifesting, like
Yep.
manifesting your ex back. I'm like, because I want it back. I need to get him back. I need to get him back.
Yeah.
So I looked at that, and from there, I saw a lot of the self love videos. But initially, as I said, it was manifesting. Um, I was trying to manifest him back, and I was becoming desperate, which obviously that was the wrong thing to do. When we broke up, I was like begging him to stay with me and telling him, please don't leave me. And, it was
Yeah.
kind of very, very desperate, which pushed him away even more. His mind was set, and that was that. So,
Yeah.
um, so as I said, initially I was into the manifesting and I tried that for a while. And then I felt like, okay, that's not working. That's not working. He's not coming back to me. Um, but then I started listening to a lot of your videos, but a lot of the ones on self love and the law of attraction. Um, I really started getting into reading The Secret and listening to Neville Goddard. That helped me a lot. But initially, I did a lot of self love videos, and I've noticed such a huge change within 2 months of doing it, and I was pretty consistent about it. You
Yeah.
know, religiously, I would do it like a lot. So I noticed the shift in me. It was really weird. I used to be a very quiet, shy person in my shell. And when I started doing these self-love things and like the I am statements, I completely shifted. I would not be able to be doing this right now, the old me. But yeah, so I started to value myself a lot more, and I realized that my ex isn't really what I wanted. I really just needed to work on myself. I've
Yeah.
become a more confident person. I'm just happy and it feels great.
Yeah. Okay, when you said you did self-love, what particular self-love techniques did you use?
I did a lot of meditation. I did a lot of the very, very thorough with the I am
Yep.
loved, I am beautiful, I am confident, I am wanted, especially I am wanted. Because I've noticed a
Yeah.
pattern in a lot of my relationships that I've been left. Like the
Okay.
guy leaves me, and I think it's because I wasn't loving myself enough. And a lot of the times the third party does become involved too because I'm thinking I'm not good enough, like they're going to find
Mm,
somebody else. So that was an issue with this relationship too. So that then started to notice the patterns of the things that were happening into my life, and obviously that was me causing it. But now I'm a way happier person, and I'm completely different than I was, and I know that I don't need my ex. I don't need
yeah.
anybody but myself.
Yeah. 2 months is pretty quick.
Initially, yeah, it was crazy. All these people started coming into my life because I felt so happy. Like after 2 months, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out with my girlfriends. We're just gonna go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And that night, so many people came up to me and into my life, and like they noticed my energy, I guess you can say. And my friends noticed it too. And 2 months is when I first started to notice things, but up to now, it's just gotten better.
Yeah. So how long ago was the 2 months?
That was back in October.
Okay.
So yeah, because it's been a little bit over a year since we've been broken up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was back in October. I started to notice changes, but every day I would find out new things about this, self love and law of attraction stuff. So, as I
Yeah.
said, is yeah,
Yeah. It's amazing what a breakup really highlights and shows you about yourself that you didn't even know. Like until you get on YouTube or on Google or whatever, you start looking at X-back stuff. It's like you start looking at, like you say, from that desperation point of view, but then you uncover the self-love, the lack of self-love, and you really discover the golden jewel, which is if you work on this, you're not so desperate to get love from a relationship, which means then you can have more mature, meaningful relationships anyway.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm grateful that it happened because had this
Yep.
not happened, I would never have found out about any of this stuff, and I still would have been like the way I used to be and not loving
Kay, I
myself.
think, Kay, there's something moving around in the background. It's really loud.
Is it?
Yeah, you got headphones on?
I do have headphones on. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
think, yeah, just try and not move because I think it's picking up you moving around and it's really, really loud and it's hard to hear you.
Okay, maybe I should just try to take them out. Okay, is this better?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
better. That's better. Bloody headphones. So, okay, because you're standing where you are now and it's a year later, and you know that a lot of people are where you were a year ago, and people are still at that desperate stage where they want to get someone back. They've had a breakup. Some people it's been a week, some people it's been a month, other people it's been 6 months, and they're still feeling desperate. What do you think would be something you could tell them that would really help them when they're in desperation?
Honestly, don't give up on anything. Just keep doing your self-love, and eventually it's going to click for you.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
takes people longer.
yeah.
Things will
Yeah.
start to change for you. You just got to keep doing it too. Don't quit. Don't think because okay, this isn't working right now that it's
Mm,
not gonna work for me. That's a big thing. I noticed a lot when I really wasn't concentrating on things like getting him back, is when things started to get better for me. When you're not focused on the wanting of things, it
yeah,
seems to happen, naturally.
yeah. That's true. That's true. And creating your own fulfilling life and creating your own joy that that person isn't your source of love, you are, and really getting to not just know that in your head, but to feel it within your own self. That takes a little while. It does take a little while.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's
Yeah.
at a different time frame. Mine was just a little quicker than most.
Yeah. So when you say you did it every day, what were you doing every day, and what do you do today? That's if you're doing anything differently. What were you doing then when you were really desperate that was helping you with your self-love?
I just think I did it more. Like I did more of the videos. I would do a lot of the guided ones.
Yeah.
That now more so I kind of do it on my own, like in my head, like if I'm driving or
Yep.
if I'm in a quiet space, I'll be saying I am confident, I am beautiful, I am wanted. I'll
Yeah.
continuously see in my head, and I try to keep as much positive thoughts into my head as I can because you try to stay
Yeah.
thinking. So
Yeah. It's ongoing, isn't it? Like it's not okay, you feel better from the breakup, you just stop. It's literally you keep doing it. It's a
yeah,
lifestyle. It becomes just something that you do continuously. I still do about minimum 500 to 1,000 affirmations a day. I go for a walk. I do my affirmations on the way to the shops. I do them on the way back, you know, and I take my little counter with me so I know how many I've done. And it's just, and then, you know, there are other times where I just do it while I'm around the house, in the shower or washing dishes or whatever, looking out the window, having a cup of tea. It's like it just becomes, rather than your repetitive, habitual, negative, blah, 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 that you've got going on, you use that time wisely.
Yeah, exactly. And I notice on the days that I don't do it as much, I do notice kind of like an energy shift. So then I was like, okay, I got doing it. I got to get back to doing it. You know,
Yeah.
some days it's a little bit of a track. I'm like, nope, I got to get back to the self-love.
It's so true. It's like this. Oh, that's right. That's what's important. That's what's real. That's who I am. This is fun.
Yes.
Life is good. You get back into remembering those things, that it is such an incredible, well, this 24 hours you've got, don't waste it. Don't waste it, because you never know how much longer you're going to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, your turnaround was pretty quick. And, you know, like I like what you said. I'm glad that happened now. And I know a lot of people are going to go, oh, my God, I'm never going to believe that. But I think the same as you. Like, it happened to me 5 times. And I'm glad it happened now 5 times. Like, I wouldn't have thought that I would ever say that, because every single time it's so devastating. But it really is just such an incredible discovery of where your weak links are, where you're still not loving yourself, where you're still trying to get, where you're still feeling second best, not good enough, not wanted, whatever. And you go through deeper levels of clearing it out. So
yeah, and you know, there are days that, you know, aren't as good as others, that you do start to feel like that, but then that's when you know you have to start working on it again. You know, it's not something that I do this for a month, it's going to be, everything's going to be fine. You have to keep doing.
That's true. And you can literally slide back, you know, if you don't keep going. You know, I know in between certain periods of my life, I've gone, oh, yeah, I'm fine now. I'm not doing this anymore. And I've gone right back to negative, repetitive, habitual thinking again.
Exactly.
So you're only as good as today. You're only as good as today. And that's why, you know, just like with Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a day at a time, a day at a time, a day at a time. And you've got to maintain it. It's a mental fitness.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. No, that's so great. It's such a wonderful thing when you can go, oh my God, I feel so good and I don't have a relationship. That means that now I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because I'm really fine today. I'm really fine. It's wonderful.
No, it's an amazing. Like it feels so good to be happy, you know, not having to rely on somebody else to be happy.
When you look back at why your relationship broke up and you look at your old self, what do you think you did in that relationship that really contributed to the breakup?
I would say a lot of it had to do with me, I guess, I was overly jealous, and I think that's how I attracted that third party, because I was kind of always focused, thinking, why are you talking to this? What, you know what I mean? Like, you're jealous, and I don't think I was secure within myself. I always thought that I wasn't good enough. In the back of my head, it's not good enough, and he's going to leave me, because I remember when we did break up and I was like begging him to stay, I said, please don't leave me. I said, everybody leaves me. And I was like, oh, this is how I'm always thinking when I was in relationships. The old me, that's how I would always think. So I think it was a wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I relate to that. I don't think I've ever thought about it in those words, but yes, please don't leave me. Everybody always leaves me. Yeah, that's such a child desperation that we feel that comes from the past.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so, that's good self-insight.
Working on it every day.
Okay, so looking at that, do you still have that fear, do you think?
I think to an extent, but like, you know, I've dated since then and I've just been like very casual about things and not really thinking so far ahead. I think that was another problem of mine. I would think so far ahead into the relationship and not really live in the moment of
Yeah.
the relationship.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, obviously that's something you have to continue to work on because like, it's always a little bit in the back of somebody's head, but no way, no way near as,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm seeing it all as like an experience for me. You know, I don't want to think too far ahead of things. And as I
Yeah.
said, being in the moment and living my life now. So
Yeah, yeah. But I think too, when you look back at yourself when you were in those situations, it's like you can see the thinking you had created the situations that you attracted. You had a fear of being left, fear of being abandoned, fear of being abandoned, fear of being abandoned, fear of them finding someone else, fear of them finding someone else. So you got exactly what you put your focus on. So it's
yeah,
like once you know that, you go, okay, well, hang on. All I got to do is the opposite. All I got to practice is um, they always choose me. They always choose me. I'm first best. I'm first best. I'm secure. I'm confident. I'm secure. And not in an arrogant way, but in replacing your second best stuff.
yes, yep,
And then you become the woman that gets chosen. You become that person.
yep. I completely
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. That's so good. Honestly, I just think the greatest thing is not getting the relationship, but breaking free and being at peace and happy within yourself. I think when I hear that in someone's email and that in someone's personal experience, that to me means that person's going to go forth and go on and have good relationships because they've got the real base foundation of what is really important to build the relationship on.
Exactly. I think had I did get him back, I wouldn't have been working on myself as much because I already would have gotten what I wanted and
Mm.
on myself. And the real issue was, you know, me not being secure with myself. So it was a good thing I didn't get him back because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. God, would you have ever thought you were going to say that?
In the beginning, no. Now I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, I never thought I would get to this point. Because in the beginning of a breakup, you're like, no, he's the one I want. He's the one I want to be with. But then
Yeah.
now I'm like, no, no.
Yeah. But then you just really like I look back because I had the same stuff and I look back at myself then and I go, my God, I was so fixated on this person and I was sure that that's what I was wanting. But really, when I look back at myself underneath, I was such an obsessed, insecure, trying to get love out of somebody else person.
Yeah.
That's
Same.
what I was. And I can look back with hindsight and see that because you're so sure it's love. I love him so much. But I hear that and I go, oh, hang on a minute. Do you love him so much or you really like the idea of him loving you so much?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying some people don't love. I think genuinely people do. But when I hear that with that intense desperation and neediness, I go, oh, okay. You love him so much because you want him to come back and love you. This is still all about you. And that's not a good place to be loving someone from because it's almost like you're hiding your need with saying I love them so much on some level. When
Yeah.
you're in that desperate state I'm talking about. I'm not talking about genuine love where you really do miss somebody and you've got your self-love on board and you're okay. But I'm talking about that real desperate state where I just love him so much and I know we're meant to be and I know we're going to get married and I think, okay, something feels weird here when I hear that because it's coming from such intense obsession. That isn't love to me. That's a bit like it is. I'm trying to get love so badly from someone. That
Yeah.
is,
It's like that security of
yeah,
the, yeah.
of the wanting the security from that other person so badly because I do not have it at all myself. And I understand that and I know how that feels because I've been there too. But there's a moment where as you work on your self-love, it's like you get this aerial view of yourself and you go, my God, I so thought I loved that person, but I was just really still trying to get love from them. And
Absolutely.
you have those moments where you go, my goodness, I understand why that person left me, because they felt that from me. That's why they left. They felt it.
Yeah. Yep.
People feel it. Even if you don't say it, people feel it. And that's why you get ghosted. That's why people break up with you. Not in every single case, but a lot of the time people leave because you're suffocating them and they
Yeah.
feel engulfed with that.
Yeah.
So, but it's an interesting evolution when you get to that point where you see that you have that insight into yourself where you go, wow, I really see why they picked another person. I really see why, with my fear of being left, don't leave me, don't leave me, don't abandon me, don't go, I need you. While I'm in this state of emotion all the time, the person just feels, God, I am going to go and find somebody else because you're killing me.
Yeah.
And they want someone that's free, someone that's playful, someone that loves themselves, someone that can just be relaxed and isn't trying to pin them down for give me this, I want you to commit to me, I want this, I want that. And commitment in itself, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's when you're coming at it from that angle, I think
Yeah.
then it becomes suffocating for the other person.
And
So,
being overly jealous is a big, big thing. If you're
and
overly jealous about little things, which I
yeah,
was at that point.
yeah. And look, me too. You look at me in my 20s and 30s, I was that as well. It's like you didn't even understand that you didn't even have a right to be jealous. Like you just thought they were in the wrong. You're
Mm-hmm.
sure they were in the wrong. They were doing stuff to make you jealous. Why don't they just stop that and then I'll be fine? They need to stop. There was no understanding about I'm insecure. I feel not loved and wanted. I feel second best. I feel not good enough. And that's why that's happening. That was never in the thought process at that time.
Yeah.
So, and jealousy is not one that you want to say, hey, yeah, I'm a really jealous person. Look at me. It's not like you kind of want to wave that flag.
Not at all. I'd be like, no, I'm not jealous at all.
Yeah, it's almost like you hide and pretend that you're not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Look, I'm really proud of you because I know how hard it is to do the work. It's not hard, but it takes real discipline and concentration to keep doing it. Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of people just stop. And I know that, once you
Yeah.
stop, it's just going to go back to the way things were,
Yeah, it's like snakes and ladders. You just slide back down the snake. It really just, you end up back where you started and then you got to climb up again. It's easier to be kind of up halfway and trying to get up higher and maintaining that than start all the way back down from feeling really depressed. Because when you're really depressed, that's a hard jump to the next level to
Yeah.
feel a little bit okay, a little bit hopeful, a little bit content. That's a hard jump from there to there. But once you're feeling content and hopeful, and then you're just trying to get a bit happier, that's a much easier jump because you're already rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic, Kay. So, anything else you want to share that you think will be helpful?
Um, I mean, all I want to tell people is just don't give up on anything. Like,
Mm,
don't stop. Don't. It's not gonna work for you.
yeah.
Just have to keep going, keep moving. Live in the moment too.
Yeah.
Don't think so far ahead. um, but other than that, no.
Yeah. So, in terms of from where you are now and what what are you giving your time to? I mean, I know you've got a job. What else do you like doing that fills your days and helps you feel good with self-love? What other things do you do?
I've been going to the gym a lot. Just enjoying being outside and being in nature a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
That's that I love.
yeah.
I
It's
just
so
enjoy the
freedom,
little
isn't
things.
it?
Yeah.
Freedom. Oh,
Yes, exactly.
yeah, it's just nothing like it. No matter where you are in the world, to get outside and to just, I'm in an open space. It's just the best feeling.
It is.
Yeah. And what about work-wise? Are you doing something you enjoy?
Yeah, I am. I'm working in the field that I like, so that's always a
Mm, excellent. Because there's a lot of people that don't like their jobs and their work. So
yeah.
that's wonderful. And in terms of travel or, spending time with friends and family, have you got anything planned?
Um, no, not as of yet, but I wasn't really a traveler. Now I'm kind of becoming more, wanting to do those types of things, but
Yeah,
nothing yet.
nothing yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I remember when well, I didn't travel, I think, for 20 years because I didn't have any money. And anytime I had money, I was trying to pay off debts. And every time I was paying off debts, then it was like I didn't have any money. And so I was just going around in circles for a while. But I remembered thinking, okay, I want to travel. And I thought, okay, if I wanted to act as if I was going to travel, even though I don't have any money right now, what would I do? And I thought, well, I would have my suitcase ready. And I ended up, I put a suitcase. I think I bought it at a secondhand store because I didn't even have enough money to buy a suitcase at that point. Bought an older suitcase that someone didn't want, and it was fairly new. And I packed it with clothes for the season I wanted to travel in. So I wanted to go somewhere hotter than where I was. And, I put my bathing suit on the top and I put my towel and my, little cap for being by the pool or whatever. And then I thought, okay, I need to go and make sure my passport's ready. So I got that done. And I remember I ended up with some unexpected money and I ended up going to, I think it was France to see my family or Canada to see my brother. It was one of the two. And it was one of the first trips I had made in like 20 years. And it was so exciting because I thought, oh, that's right. You got to act as if. You got to act as if. You got to act as if. And I mean, my suitcase is permanently open now because I'm moving around, 4 or 5 times a year. But that's happened because now I believe travel is easy. Travel is fun. Money always comes. I pay everything cash and all of that stuff. And that's how it unfolds. But in those days, I didn't have that belief. I was still going, there's not enough money, there's not enough money, I can't travel, I can't travel, I can't travel. That's what I was believing and repeating and affirming.
Yeah, been there.
So, well, there you go. That is wonderful, Kay. Thank you very much for coming and just I just think the self-love is the foundation of all. I think getting a specific person back or an ex back and all of that is wonderful. And if that's what your desire is, that's totally fine. But I do think this is the real golden egg is the self-love. And you get to the point where it's like you let people off the hook from loving you. They don't have to love you for you to feel good. So it's like you're a real blessing to have around as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter, as a mother. You let everyone off the hook. So it's like being around you is great for other people because you don't need it. And then when you don't need it, you get it all the time anyway. It's like, yeah,
Exactly.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, that's so funny because I don't really need it now, but it's nice to receive it. I like it. But I really needed it about 3 years ago and I wasn't getting anything,
No,
you know?
no.
So it kind of makes you laugh when you least need it. That's when it comes. It's a funny way the universe is set up around that stuff.
Yes, I agree.
Now, have you got time to just answer comments in the thread if you have time? Pop in every now and again. I'll upload this in the next probably week.
Yeah, you could feel free to put my email in there too if people want to talk
Oh,
to me
okay.
personally. That's
All
fine.
right. Cool. All right. Yeah, I think people always love, especially when someone's broken through and they're feeling good. It helps those that
You need
aren't
to feel.
feeling. You do. You need help. We all need help when we're not feeling good. So yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be lovely. It's a pay it forward, isn't it, Kay?
Oh yeah, I love helping people. So
Yeah. Lovely. Okay, will do. Well, thank you very much. And do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
bye everybody. Feel free to contact me if you need help.
Thank you, Kay. Thanks for taking your time to come and tell your story today because I think it's just wonderful to hear how your self-love's changed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody, and I will see you in the next YouTube.